as I said before, so this is a fully plastic, but it's solid plastic. It's not bendy. There's no movement in it. It's a really well made plastic pen, and I like that it's see-through and that I can see the ink sloshing around when I'm writing. So that's plastic, fully plastic. Then we've got a wooden pen where the cap is wooden. We've got metal grip. The base is wooden, and then we've got, again, metal, and I think that's plastic. It's not rubber, plastic. So we've got wooden. We've got brass. This is brass. The whole thing is made of brass. Like the cap is silver, but the cap is brass. The little clip is silver. This bit's brass. The grip is brass. It's the whole thing, apart from the cartridge, is brass, and it's heavy, and I love it. But again, this is something to consider, depending on if you're going to be writing a lot. The weight of the pens and the materials will make a difference for you. So we've got a solid metal one there. We've got half brass, half acrylic plastic. So this is a really heavy brass cap, and that cap actually weighs more than the rest of the pen. And then the grip is brass. The ink flow section is the acrylic. It's the same brand as this one, so it's exactly the same. And then we've got the twist action, that's brass, and there's a little bit of brass in there which pushes that down to fill up and empty the ink. So that's a half brass, half acrylic plastic. We have got, now I think, yes, this is my Lamy. This is aluminium. The whole thing is aluminium, except the grip, which is plastic. And that's actually a really light pen. I will weigh these and show you the different weights. And then we've got another, I believe this is aluminium, I think. Again, this is where the whole thing is aluminium, and that one does weigh more than that. Again, fully metal, and this is a ink converter, so that's these weigh barely anything. So that's fully metal. And then we've got resin and plastic and a little bit of light metal, and then that's plastic with a little bit of metal. But again, that's quite light actually. Even though it's the chunkiest pen I have, it's not the heaviest pen at all. And then I like, in the beginning, I started off with the Carbacos, and I liked them, and I ended up getting 3 because I like them. Oh, run away. Now the brass, I'm pretty sure weighs 3 times what those weigh. These are very, very light in comparison. They are all just plastic. The whole thing's plastic. They're very light. Okay. Then we've got the TWSBIs, are plastic. Again, that feels very similar to the Moonman. It's like it's a really solid acrylic chamber, and then we have got some rose gold metal on here, but predominantly it's plastic. And then, okay, then we have our half wood, a little bit of plastic, and then some metal. So they're a mix. I've got 3 of them, I love them. And then this one is half brass and half acrylic. This one is half aluminium and half acrylic. So they are identical pens. They're just different colours. But again, that brass weighs, that's really, really light. That's not so much. So again, weights are a factor. So let's weigh some of these, just because I've never actually weighed any of my pens. I don't know how much they weigh. When I talk about liking heavy pens, I've got no idea. Okay, I was doing grams because I know grams. So, what I think will probably be, again, the Moonmans are solid. They're really they're like really, really solid pens, but I don't know if they are. Okay, I think this is my lightest pen, the Kaweco. Okay, let's, out of interest, I've just got a little cheap plastic gel pen. Let's see how much that weighs. That weighs 8 grams. Okay, I'm going to write that down. Good to know. 8 grams for the Muji gel pen. Okay, I've written that down. So I think the next lightest is going to be this. Yes, at 13 grams. Okay, so 13 grams is the Kaweco Sport pen. Now, they don't come with the clip, this clip just is separate. You can buy, because I prefer having that additional clip and you just slide it on. So actually it might be lighter. 10. So that clip weighs 3 grams by itself. So let's put 10 grams or 13 with the clip. That's an incredibly light pen. It's a small pen. It's probably an ideal starter pen. And with it being little in comparison to the standard size pens, they're great for kids starting out. Then I don't think they're very easy to break. Like, they do have a nice, really well made German company called Kaweco. Might be something to consider. So next then, I think it's probably going to be the other little pen. Now that has got to be at least 5 mils of ink. I reckon there's 5 mils of ink in that. So got to take that into account as well. These have a cartridge in them. Now I've got no idea if the cartridge tells me how much ink is in it. Probably not. Some more inks here. 0.8 mil. You get 0.8 mil of ink in a cartridge. That, I would say, has 5 mil of ink. That's a lot more ink. So that pen empty may weigh similar to the small Kaweco. This is the Moonman Wonkai, it's called, with 5 mils of ink. And that weighs 14 grams. So, interesting. Okay. Now, this is... I'll go over this. Obviously, that pen is teeny tiny. Went to take the lid off. And even though I have incredibly small hands, that's just a little bit too... It doesn't quite come far enough. So, I post the cap. This is a phrase that you might hear and be like, I have no idea what it means. I post the cap. So, I put the cap on the end of the pen. Now, you can do this with a lot of pens, but some pens you shouldn't do it with, and I will go over that. So then that makes it a little bit longer so that I can comfortably write with it. So that weighs 14 grams, and that's the Moonman Wonkai. Now, I have 2 of those. I'd be intrigued to know if they both weigh the same. Now, the other one, okay, the other one, the ink is not full. So let's see what... Oh, this has gone off. Let's see what that weighs. Oh, okay. Once it stopped rolling around. Stop! I've obviously got a wonky desk. Now, this is one thing that you might want to consider with pens, is if they haven't got a cap or a clip on them. So that's 13 grams. So that weighs 14 with a full chamber of ink. That weighs 13 with a half chamber of ink. It's only about here. So, okay, that's interesting. Okay, Moonman Wonkai. Okay, so that's your little pens out of the way. I will go in a bit more into about these pens. So my next smallest pen, we've done that one. Oh, we haven't done that one. I think that's probably one of my heaviest pens actually, and we'll leave that till last. Next one is my TWSBI Diamond Mini, which is a little bit bigger than the Kaweco. Quite a bit bigger than the Moonmans, but in comparison to a standard pen, it's a little bit shorter. Now this is plastic and metal, and that weighs 21 grams. And that has, again, a good few mil of ink in it. Okay, this is kind of a little quiz for me. I've never done this before. What do we think is the next lightest pen? I think that one's quite light. I think that's heavier than that one. I think that might be the next lightest pen. The Lamy is also 22 grams. Interesting. But this one has an ink converter in it, which probably only goes up to about a mil of ink. So a lot less ink in it. Let's put some of these back as I do it. So we've got a 28, 20, ooh, 20, so we've got 20, 22, 23, and 28. That's a 33. That's a 31. 27. Oh, that's a chunky pen. 58 grams. 57 grams. I'll stop leaning on the table. 56 grams. Okay. I think that might be a little bit lighter. 43. And 58. So that is my heaviest pen. It weighs 58 grams. That's quite heavy. I send out some parcels with leather crafts in that don't weigh that much. So that is a heavy pen. So these are my two heaviest pens. But so you have to consider, if you're buying a pen for yourself or for a gift, if you're going to be using it daily, certainly, do you want a heavy pen? Or do you want something that's really nice and light? Literally, it weighs nothing. 13 grams. Really, really light. There's a big difference. They are both the same make and brand of pen. They are both a Kaweco Sport, but the brass one weighs 43, and that weighs 13. Big difference. Most pen listings do give you a weight, so you should be able to look into that, but it's something to consider, the weights. Okay, let's put some of these away. I have an order of how often I use things, so I like to put them in order. Hey guys, thanks for watching part 4, all about materials and weights, and how there are lots and lots of different materials that pens can be made from, and how weight can actually be a factor when choosing the fountain pen that's right for you or for a friend or loved one. So like and subscribe, and stay tuned for our next video, which is all about hand size. See you later!